Sound? Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, for some reason when I start Streamlabs, it mutes it. Yes, we do have a Walmart. We are back. Thank you all for rejoining. There should not be a delay anymore, but well, I guess we'll test it in a minute. Every year, Stick, every year it's like this. Every freaking year. This one appears to already be done. So I'm just gonna go check and see if they have money in the mailbox for me. If they do, I'll pull the blower out and we'll do what we can. Oh shit. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, young lady.
Yeah.
I usually do the snow here.
Yeah.
I see it's...
Well, we tried to, so we could get it because my husband's health is into
Okay.
so we weren't sure.
You want me to get rid of these two piles?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just wasn't sure.
Oh, yeah. No, we just tried so that we could get it.
Yeah, no problem. I'll get rid of these. Usually there's an envelope in the mailbox.
Yeah, I know. I didn't have, I need change.
For what?
For 20.
I don't have... All I have is 20s. That's okay.
I can give you 20 and next time you come.
Well, if you want, give me what you have, and then I've got a few more. I'll be out and about for the next couple hours, and then I can go get change for you, and I'll put it in the mailbox.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. Give me a few minutes, Chad. I'm just gonna leave you on charge. You're only at like 30%, so this one's gonna be a bit of a doozy. What's up, infantry wagon? Yeah, those piles of snow suck. Okay, this is gonna suck, and I'm not too sure how it's gonna work because there's a car in the way, and I asked them if I could move it, and they said no because the guy lives next door or some shit, and I'm just fucking, I don't know where he's at. They wouldn't tell me, so fuck, man. They put two huge piles beside the house that we're gonna have to deal with, like 5-foot piles, and then that car is in the way. I'd prefer to throw it right where that car is and then throw it to the side, a little two-stepper, but we're gonna see how this goes. Look at the size of that fucking thing. So I prefer to throw, I'm still gonna try and throw it up there and then over, because if I were to try to throw it back here, it'd be like it'd be 3 steps. Pile it there and then pile it there, maybe even 4. So, frig snacks. I'm not sure where to put you guys either. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll come out and leave. Ugh. You guys are probably really close to dead. Oh yeah. I gotta give them change. See if I got $10. I'll have to come back. Two, three, 4. I need $1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Always. I don't mind, it's alright. You like doing it though. I don't know, my foot's just a big fucking pit. Did you notice that? I need the whole exercise. And I have a better chance of getting unstuck in this. The power. Yeah, and the winter tires. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's salting and he's telling his wife, he's like, don't salt too much, it'll rust underneath the car. Like, fuck, bud. First off, where the car's parked, when it's sitting there, and there's no reducing the amount, like, you drive it once and you're gonna get, just fucking salt the piss out of it. He's like, oh, it's gonna rust the underneath of the car. Like, buddy, you're fucking driving around in the winter, like, that's what rusts it. Not sitting in the parking lot. Under some salt. Oh fuck, we're gonna have to turn around here. Yeah, we'll go drive 8 hours to go get an undercoating. I could get it done here for like probably $40-50 from CJ. CJ does the undercoating around here for me. Sprays the piss out of it too. Okay, that's done. We don't have to come back and give them change. I gotta pee real freaking bad. Oh, the lady complaining. Yeah, she could go see CJ's towing. He always does a really good job for me. Well, that was fun. Chopping down those big piles. I'm soaking wet. hungry. And look where we are, Vass. Oh, sugar sticks. Look where we are. It's your favorite. The Lucy Boosie. Ever been to Fort Mac? No, bro. I've never been really anywhere. I've never really been anywhere. I've never been on an airplane. I've been to like Malone, New York, and places in Quebec, but nah. I never really went anywhere. Hot dogs? Oh, fuck. Okay, good call. Let's turn around. I'll go get a couple dogs, bro. A couple dogs and a Coke for the boys. Hey, we're gonna do a little turnaround. Way to go, Roofer. I don't want a poutine. Get the fucking poutine out of your head. I'm so sick of fucking poutines. But I will have a couple dogs to hold me over. What kind of boat do you have? Two steamies and a Coke. That's all we need. Two steamies and a Coke. Hopefully that's quick. I can't do poutine, man. It's too much. Did he though? Fuck. Alright, whatever. We'll do poutine and a dog, I guess. Actually, you guys wait here and get a bit of a charge. I'd like to take you in, but you're at 17%. Oh fuck, I gotta piss. Money, money, money. Da 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 da, world change. Ba da 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 da. Ba bang, ba bang, da 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 da. Ba bang, ba bang. Gotta let the world change. Mana, mana, ana. You mean this? Oh, we're balling now. I had $200 cash on me, so technically this is what we've made today. On top of like the contracts I already got paid for, but that's for the one drive. Wow, that's for the one driveway. We got 2 more to do and then a freebie for my dad. £12, 14-ounce bass. Nice. So I guess we'll eat. Is Snert here, dude? I should have just got 2 fucking hot dogs. I'm starting to resent poutines, bro. Starting to make me like angry. Look at all the freaking pigeons, dude. Lots of pigeons. Should have just friggin' fried one of them bad boys up, eh? Should have just fried one of those up, bucko. What's up, Alan? Gonna need gas before the end of today. All right, let's go get our food, buckos. It's mukbang o'clock.
What unappetizing name was originally given to donuts? Ivan?
Is Snert here, dude?
Sweet bagel.
Oh, it's the comedy thing.
Oh, I like the way you said that. Don Kelly?
Okay, I actually know this Oily Cakes, who is also my favorite contestant on Canada's Drag Race.
The actual correct answer, Oily Cakes, is the original name given to donuts. Once every 8 episodes, we learn something true on this show. Canada's famous for Tim Hortons donuts, but we once had a national muffin chain. What was it called? Ivan.
Costco.
Oh, I remember that. Well, Don Kelly.
Sir John A. McMuffins.
Actually, better than the name that's here. It was called, did I remember? That's the firing line, everybody!
Please, we can share this because I don't even want it. Anybody want a bite? You want to have a community poutine?
Muffins are wholly excellent. Donuts are mostly and the hole's the healthiest part of the color. But they froth it away. That offends these indigenous versions because my people used to use the entire donut. And then the settler capitalists took our cue and they pick the dough up off the floor and they sell it back to you as a Q-bit. Muffins remind us of happy things. Unwrapping the paper off the floor muffin reminds you of Christmas morning. Donuts remind you that even when
Damn, that's a good dog, though.
at the center is an empty void of nothingness.
Damn, that's a good dog. And the fucking black gold, bro. What's up, Rob Q? The black gold known as Coca-Cola Classic, man.
Let's hear again from Ivan Decker.
Thank you. Now I know you and many others may have an issue with the hole in the middle of the donut. But the outside of a donut is amazing.
We could do this, Turney.
Atheists, side of the omniscient God, regardless of their intellectual achievement.
Time for a no-charge, no-obligation consultation and ask about their 12-month, no-interest financing.
613-724-3937.
What's this gonna be, Turney?
613-724-EYES. Do you know what contrave is? Maybe not.
Yeah, no shit. We're done poutines. I'm scamming poutine, y'all. We're done with poutines, bro. It starts to make me angry. Every time I go live doing snow, it's like poutine, poutine, poutine. And then I'm like, peer pressured. Peer pressured. And I don't like it.
Go to disabilityrights.ca and get disability lawyer Savannah Markin in your corner. Discover what insurance companies don't want you to know and how Savannah can force them to pay you what you are owed. Disability rights.
Rule number 1.
Lately,
No more
times have been
poutine.
challenging.
With many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt, everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone.
I do like a shawarma, bro.
Share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you. With Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada, they are one of the largest non-profit
I got an idea.
counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau.
The next time we do lunch in the car, Ernie decides what we eat. Because he knows. You don't trust tacos and burritos. They have a good taco here. No more curb. I'm done. Hi, Leslie P. Yes, Leslie, we got a 7-day copyright, 7-day community guidelines strike on the channel, so I will be back next week. Suppose I could have did a community post about it, but hi, antibiotic. Dumplings. I'd go for some fucking dumplings right now. Thank you, Leslie. I am doing okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna have to pee at the back of this next house. Okay, we ready? What was the strike for? No, the strike was for terrorist organizations. Was the actual copyright strike, or the actual community guidelines violation. And it was on one of my favorite videos, actually, which is now gone forever because I don't have a copy of it. The Arab Andy video that I made like 2.5 years ago. It's like a 2.5-year-old video that just got banned for terrorist organizations. Yep. Yeah, it was the Arab Andy video. Got me a community guidelines strike for 7 days. So, I mean, I didn't appeal it or anything. So I think it happened Sunday or Monday or something like that. I believe it happened. So we'll have to wait till then so we can go live. Excuse me. Okay, this is a fairly large one. Everything's gonna be alright. 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 Do 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 do. Alright. 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 Okay, this is gonna be fun because there's nowhere to park. Very narrow. Very narrow. So 2 years later they can ban you? Yep. Yep, welcome to YouTube. You got an age restriction? I don't know if you can contest age restriction. Let's go do an investigate. Oh yeah. Well, at least this part's done. So it's just the end of the driveway. And then up here. And there's no one parked here. I wasn't prepared to agree. No, it's set in stone now, dude. You gotta be man of your word. Get on the ground now, take your shirt off. Ugh. smells like weed. I'll get the rest of that when I come back. Alright, this is going to be a bit of a doozy. Bit of a doozy here. See, once we get it started, it's not that bad. But I mean, you can see she's pretty friggin' Sometimes I do, Specta. Peeing sitting down is a jail thing. It keeps from splatter and whatnot. I'm not ashamed of the sit down pee. Is Snert here, dude? Okay, well, I own a snow angel and we've got a beautiful canvas there. Okay, bye, Stick. Ah. pee. Here we go, look at our handiwork. You guys probably can't even see the ground. There we go. I just gotta do the end of this driveway now, and we're off. How's it going, boss?
About yourself?
I'm living the dream, man. Ooh. Leslie is a mother, and following the ski mask stuff, I'm feeling like a cheat. Hang on. Oh, I'm farting. Okay, that one's done. Well, I peed, but oh, this guy's fucking stuck. Gonna be a tight squeeze here, chat. Gonna be a very tight squeeze. Frick snacks. Don't get stuck, don't get stuck, don't get stuck, don't get stuck. Okay, we made it. Alright, Turney, have a good one. Slight detour. So Leslie, are you still here? When did you start watching the channel? What's your origin story, miss? If you are still here, that is. From the beginning of my live show, a couple years of watching me. Frig. You're like stick, man. My apologies if I should recognize your name. Okay, I'm just going into, you guys are gonna stay here in charge. I'm just going into there. I'll be 2 minutes. You've heard horrible things about Discord? Yeah, well, you're not wrong. The majority of it is like that. Well, I wouldn't say the majority, but there's a good chunk of Discord that's bad. We seem to have a good group. And it's mostly adults talking adult things. We haven't really had an issue. All right, this is a 30% pre-roll. So hang on to your fucking hats. Ours is good though, like for real. What I recommend for anybody that's like nervous about Discord and they've heard bad things and they don't want to be associated, just make an alt, like make a random name, join the Discord and just lurk it. Just fucking hang out in there under a random, unassuming, anonymous name. And if you like what you see after a week or so, then you're welcome to change your name and introduce yourself or whatever. I just tell people to give it a try. Because it can be bad, and I understand that. But ours is not. Whoa. Why did he do that? That guy just walked by and shouldered my my rear view mirror. Yeah, like there's no pressure, Leslie, to like if you come in under your own name, that's fine. But yeah, just lurk. You don't have to participate or communicate. Just watch what is said and what the conversations are, and go from there. Make your own judgment, I guess. Would be my recommendation. And if you don't like it, that's cool. There's literally like no pressure. Yeah, well, I can tell you that the Discord's a lot better than the live stream. Try it out if you want. And if you don't, that's okay too. I'm not going to smoke this whole thing. Jesus. 30%, by the way. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm putting this out. Jesus. Can't keep it in. What? And we cheached, boys. And we cheached. What? Oh. Got me gagging. Got my nose running. What are we at for battery? 10%. Why is it not charging faster? 10%'s not enough. $10%'s not enough. What up, Billabong Matt? Well, that's unfortunate because 10%'s not enough. 10% is not enough to come out here, I don't think. 11%. Yeah, Leslie, look at this. Look at that pile over there. I'll go stand beside it while you guys charge. That's, I don't know, fuck, I don't even know. That's like 30, 40 feet in the air. I'll go stand beside it. Well, that was fun. Let's see what you're at. Chat. 15%. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I'm not waiting any longer. It's charging quite slow. We're just gonna have to fucking hustle and try and beat the clock. That's what we're gonna have to do. TV plugged in till the last possible minute. Do you guys like that, chat? Anyone here? Oh, infantry, what's up? All right. Of course you people are here. Okay, let's fucking go. Oh boy. That's gonna be a bit of a challenge. That's a shovel job. It's thick for frig snakes. Okay, this is a big one. It's a big one just because of the end. The end is massive. Try to cut it with the blower, but I don't have the strength in my arm without hurting myself to wiggle it back and forth and push it, so we're gonna have to one-handed chop this down with the shovel, make it accessible. Once I cut through it once, it's not bad. guys are definitely not gonna last. Evasive maneuvering engaged. Yeah, that end is ice, pretty much. Here's the big pile of snow I climbed. We're gonna come right up on it here in a sec as I turn around. Right there. Big cliff right there. By infantry. Alright. Across the street might be better. Oh, that's like perfect, I think. Because I'm gonna have to work on this thing here for a little bit. So I break. Once I break through one line, I can chop away at it. It goes pretty quick, but it's just breaking that first one. The machine won't go through it, so it's got to be broken up and worked at slowly. So yeah, you guys can stay in here.
They were not coming back, and then we saw our account dwindling, and so that's when we started really talking about how the end's coming, and we have to do something else because we want to be able to leave here and have something. So
you guys are charging. You're listening to talk radio. And you're gonna watch me fucking
good, but I'm just saying,
get this done. Comfy cozy from the inside of the car.
Okay, we're gonna be fine. Try not to think about it too much because it's sad, but it's good.
Were those hard conversations to have for the two of you?
Yeah, it was. I was still hoping to work a little longer. I'm 50, so I was more hopeful than I was that they were gonna come back. Yeah, I was, because I really did like it. You know what I mean? I wanted to continue. More naive, you know, younger and naive. It just hit me like a ton of bricks because it's so empty. I'm still stunned by it because I haven't been here in such a long time. Like you should, and my sister's been doing all the work here. I think I've had a bit more processing time because I'm cleaning it all out. I sold the cabinets, I'm selling the stock. I know I'm not gonna get what I want, but anyhow, we'll get something.
Well, I now want to know, like, how did your family react to when you told them that, you know, you had made this decision?
Our mom was all right because she had retired a long time ago, and she saw how it was getting hard for us to run the business for her and I. And Dad, I think Dad was all right with it too. Like he told us, like, we were hard to make that decision because you have the guilt of thinking that you didn't succeed the family business. But he said, he goes, your grandfather would be proud of you guys.
You're standing in this space of so much family history, of so much stories, of so much laughter. Just the full experience. What are you holding on to from this store? Like, what is the legacy of Comerford's for you?
Oh my goodness, what a question. Oh, the family is really important, you know, and if it wasn't for our grandfather starting this, we wouldn't be where we are today and developed into these people that you know, the human beings that we are right now, you know. Like, I credit a lot of that to our upbringing and working here, having good work ethics, you know. That I really value, that we have really good work ethics, that you can depend on us if we go to work. And what else? What do you think?
Well, I find that I remember all the good stuff. You know, that's what you want to remember, all the good stuff. You don't think about the bad stuff because that doesn't cheer you. You know, my dad always said this. He said, we were lucky that this store raised my dad's family, it raised mine, and it took care of you girls. He says, not many people can say that a family business did that for them because they can't all work together.
There is a picture of Anne and Lucy holding a picture of the generations of Comerfords that put their blood, sweat, and tears into making this business last for the 75 years that it did. It's a reminder of all the people that it takes to make it work. We'll share that with you on the CBC Now or Never Facebook and Instagram.
Evie, neither of us have come from family businesses.
Speak for yourself, Trevor, because I shared a paper route with my brother for a whole summer, and he did not pay me a dime. So I know the pain of family business betrayal.
Take him to court. You know, over the years, though, we have been a part of many stories of families working together, and you can go back and you can hear all of them, plus all of our past Now or Never seasons, wherever you download your podcasts.
You know, in some ways, this show feels kind of like our family business.
Mm-hmm.
And it couldn't happen without our Now or Never producers / family members.
Big thanks to Bridget Forbes, Gloria Amateo, Amanda Putz, Sarah Tate, and Andrew Friesen. I'm Trevor Deneen.
And I am Ifi Chiwetelu. And we will see you when we next open the store.
This is CBC Radio 1, 95.5 FM in Cornwall.
Hi, I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music. We all know that the last 3 years have been challenging for our mental health, especially for students. So we're asking kids and teachers, what music moves your mood? Taylor Swift, Mother, Lizzo, The Beatles? Create your own 15-song YouTube playlist answering that very question for a chance to win a virtual concert with Talk. Enter the CBC Music Playlist Challenge now at cbc.ca/musicclass.
Secrets, private longings, bad decisions, and missed connections. They're all part of that complicated thing called life, and figure prominently in Bridget Canning's short story collection, No One Knows About Us. Bridget chats with Sheila Rogers on the next chapter, after the news.
CBC News, The World This Hour. I'm Khalil Hassanali. There are signs that the battle for control of the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut has entered a brutal new phase. Ukrainian forces are under fierce bombardment as they desperately try to hold on to the city. But Russian forces and Russian mercenaries are slowly tightening their grip. Dominic Velitis has the details.
The latest pictures coming out of Bakhmut this morning give you an idea of the damage that Russian artillery is doing to roads in and out of the city. And although Ukrainian soldiers are working hard to repair them, it is reportedly having an impact for their ability to get men and supplies in. And yesterday, we heard from a man called Yevgeny Prigozhin. Now, he is the founder of the so-called Wagner Group, the private army that the Kremlin is using in Ukraine. And he claimed Bakhmut is now practically encircled by his men and other Russian forces. But we've also heard from Britain's Ministry of Defense today, and it said that Russian forces and Wagner troops had made further advances into the northern suburbs, leaving the Ukrainian-held part of the city vulnerable to attack on 3 sides. Dominic Velitis, CBC News, London.
People were out protesting in Tehran after a wave of poisoning targeting schoolgirls in Iran. They were chanting that our enemy isn't America, our enemy is right here. Poison attacks have hit at least 30 schools in 4 different cities. Now, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi blames the poisonings on Tehran's enemies, while other politicians say it could have been religious groups opposed to girls' education. The poisonings come as anti-government protests continue in cities and regions across Iran. Winter storm warnings are still in effect for some parts of southeastern Ontario and southwestern Quebec, with forecasters predicting between 15 and 20 centimeters of snow. That same storm pounded southern Ontario overnight. Thunder snow was heard in and around Toronto, a rare phenomenon according to Dave Phillips with Environment Canada.
Essentially, the atmosphere is charged with moisture and lots of dynamics. The air is rising, and as the air rises, it cools, and lots of action goes on inside those clouds, including thunder and lightning. It's quite spectacular, and often it accompanies a lot of snow.
Cities and towns across southern Ontario are digging out, clearing roads and sidewalks. Officials at Pearson Airport say many flights were canceled or delayed until this morning, and they're advising you to check ahead. Police were called to a Catholic school board meeting in Toronto suburb of York this week when some parents got angry about teachers posting safe space stickers on classroom doors. The stickers are supposed to tell LGBT students that the teacher is happy to help them. Tyler Cheese reports.
Tensions were running high at York Catholic District School Board's monthly meeting on Tuesday. Parents like Sherry D. Vittorio say pro-LGBTQ+ messaging conflicts with their Catholic values.
Catholic schools should not allow transgender or LGBT students to attend.
The parents are upset about the use of safe space stickers. Michael Totten is with the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
These students have identified themselves as some of the most highly bullied students. They know they're really concerned. Having this sticker there where they clearly know I can go into that classroom and have a good conversation with that teacher, that's what is the most important.
The school board says police were called to the meeting to address the disorderly crowd, but most of the parents chose to leave on their own. It also says it was not made aware of the stickers in advance, but supports teachers who choose to display them. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
And that's the world this hour. For CBC News, I'm Khalil Hassanelli.
Here is your weather forecast for Cornwall. A snowfall warning is in effect for the area, with hazards including reduced visibility due to heavy snow. A total snowfall accumulation of 15 to 20 centimeters is expected. Today has a high of 0 degrees and a wind chill of -7. Tonight it will be mainly cloudy with a low of -4 and a wind chill near -6. For tomorrow, mainly cloudy with a high of 5 degrees, a wind chill of -6 in the morning.
The next chapter
with Sheila Rogers.
And I'm very lucky to know a lot of colorful characters myself, so.
And that is what poetry is like. Magic happens.
We must not just give up.
The next chapter.
CBC Radio 1
and Sirius XM.
There's a long history in science fiction that imagines the effects of environmental disaster. As extreme weather has become part of our lives, this kind of storytelling has burgeoned. Climate fiction, or cli-fi as it's become known, reflects growing anxiety about global warming and speculates on possible futures. Michael Christie's novel Greenwood follows eco-themes through the story of a multi-generational family. The action moves from the Depression to a near future where the world is trying to recover from ecological disaster. Greenwood is one of 5 books in the running for Canada Reads 2023, and Ryan B. Patrick talks with Michael later on the program. Michelle Poirier-Brown is a Cree Métis poet and performer. She tells hard truths in her debut poetry collection, and she invites readers to face them. Her book is called You Might Be Sorry You Read This, and I'll speak with Michelle in half an hour from now. But first to St. John's to speak with Bridget Canning and to learn about the people she's created in her short story collection, No One Knows About Us. I'm Sheila Rogers. Welcome to the next chapter. I met Bridget Canning a couple of years ago at the Writers at Woody Point Festival in Grossmorn National Park in Western Newfoundland, and we talked about her novel Some People's Children, which follows the complicated family life of a teenage girl growing up in a rural community in Newfoundland. But it's urban life in St. John's that forms the backdrop for Bridget's new book, a collection of short stories called No One Knows About Us. And it's adult life that's under the microscope here. There are secrets, private longings, webs of attachment. Even with all the complications, though, Bridget finds the humanity in her characters and their actions. Bridget Canning joins me now from her home in St. John's. Hi, welcome back to the next chapter.
Hi, Sheila. I'm so happy to be talking to you.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be talking to you about this book. But first, I have to ask you, how do you say the title, No One Knows About Us, or No One Knows About Us?
Oh, that is a good question. I usually say no one knows about us.
Okay. That's kind of neutral. Okay, that's...
Yeah, I usually try to... I think that's kind of the writer in me that try to say things neutrally to let everyone else apply.
Okay, well, I think they both kind of can settle nicely on the stories. I am amazed at how you tap into the motivation and even the essence of your characters. I think that's a great gift that you have. What do you draw on to build character, Bridget?
It could be something like just a turn of phrase. I tend to listen a lot wherever I am. Like, so for example, I was in the waiting room a while ago and I was listening to two men talk about addictions, actually. And one of them said, you know, it could be anything. If you're an addict, you can't have a drink, you can't buy a scratch card at the convenience store because it'll set you off. And something like that will just kind of get my wheels turning, and I'll start thinking about who they're talking about and what their point of view is on that person, but also the person themselves and how they're saying it and what their voice sounds like and what they emphasize and how they look. It's pretty much my surroundings, and I'm very lucky to know a lot of colorful characters myself, so there you go.
Well, a lot of the stories take place in St. John's or the greater St. John's area, Mount Pearl, for example, and characters know each other. They've had interactions just by virtue of the size of the city. How does proximity affect the lives of the people who live there in your stories?
Place, in a way, is his own character. So especially if you're thinking about a small place, we're talking about the city of St. John's and the surrounding area, which is its own way. Like, St. John's is a city, but in many ways is a small town. And of course, everything's set on an island, so you already have natural barriers to everything. So it's kind of natural that people's lives kind of ricochet on top of each other. So if you're thinking about like an incident or something that causes one effect, it kind of can weave its way into someone else's life, and then you can kind of take a look at how they would approach it from their point of view.
You're going to run into your exes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The stairwells are blocked.
Right. In the opening story, which is called Scene, there's a woman named Irene, and she receives a totally out of the blue email from a long ago, a text from a long ago lover who confesses that he's never stopped thinking about her. What spurs him to write this to her?
This was kind of inspired by the missile scare that happened in Hawaii. I believe it was in 2018. And, the idea that you could be on vacation somewhere and suddenly there are sirens blaring and suddenly they're telling everyone to run for cover. There's a missile headed that way, and I think we all kind of fantasize, in our dark fantasies of what we would do. Well, what are we going to do if we're on the plane and the plane is crashing? Who are you going to text? Who are you going to try to call? What are you going to do if you think it's your last moments? So playing with the idea that because of instant messaging, so he can write her right away, but she might not see that until it's actually, there is no danger. So he's taken a risk, and she, of course, when she gets this, she already knows that the missile was an accident. No one was in any danger, so she's suddenly given this kind of upper hand in a relationship that really didn't end well for her.
What kept them from pursuing their relationship when they were young?
How do I say this? Dennis, who is her ex-boyfriend, is a tomcat. That's a good way to say it. A cleaner way to say it, I guess. You know, they were young. They were not really dating. They were more sleeping together from time to time. And he's, you know, one of these guys who doesn't want to commit. And she was playing it cool and doesn't want to say that, you know, she felt stronger for him than, you know, what was going on. You know, it was a relationship that didn't end well. But because it happens in St. John's, this small town, she's always kind of been aware of his presence.
Yeah.
And she's because he gets into politics. So this is also the thing. When he does send her this message, he's a deputy mayor and he has something to lose. So suddenly she's given this kind of strange position of one-upping him, I guess.
It's interesting what you're exploring in the story, because in the latter part of the story, and I'm not going to give anything away, it looks as though Irene has something to lose as well, by no fault of her own, and it has to do with texting. Are you interested in what power texts and emails can hold over people?
Oh, very much so. I've been teaching communications at the College of North Atlantic here in the province for, 12 years now. And that's one of the things that we're always talking about is, you know, how anything that's online, anything that's digital is permanent. And it's how we constantly communicate. So, I mean, we see it all the time. That, you know, anything can be screenshot or saved or forwarded or put into a social media post. So that idea that you kind of, you think about your turns of phrases of putting your foot in your mouth. So the idea of kind of digitally putting your foot in your mouth and saying the wrong thing and being caught up in that, or doing something when you're, you know, making a post or sending a message when your judgment is impaired, for example. That idea that, you know, this kind of having to watch ourselves so closely. All of your communications can be kind of gathered together to make some kind of imprint or impression of you. I think about that all the time, yes, and I talk about that with students all the time.
And do you recommend digital hygiene, asking for a friend?
Digital hygiene?
Yeah, like, do you just erase everything?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I think that deleting everything. See, you know what? I have different ideas on that, because if you go onto someone's profile and they've made, you know, the effort to make a profile but they've never posted any content, I think you either start thinking, oh, well, this person's not savvy enough, or this person's a bit of a Luddite, they don't know how to use this technology, or they're just a lurker, like they're just there, like, which is me on TikTok. I have no idea how to make a TikTok. I'm just there looking at whatever, all the cool stuff everybody else does.
I'm going to move on to the series of it's called Gutless Bravado. And there are 4 parts to this story, and the person in the story is recovering from a and she makes a connection. I think it's really interesting. That anxiety is something that often manifests in the stomach, in the gut. Where did the idea for that premise come from?
The idea that anxiety manifests in the gut, well, that is my own personal experience. I got my DNA checked years ago, and I found that I had the Ecodera genes. Basically, Ecodera genes is rare and aggressive and underlying stomach cancer. And if you have, so basically, once the stomach cancer actually manifests and shows up in your stomach, it's too late, it's already spread. So because I had this gene, I had, you know, what they recommend is that you have and it's, you know, a huge recovery time. For that, I think I lost 35 pounds or something in the first month. It was a huge toll on your body. So in the months that, you know, while afterwards while I was recovering, I was like, I don't feel fear the same way, because all because your stomach's sore, you don't actually feel all those little triggers. The lack of fear I was having was because of that. It was also due partly that your body body's recovering, it's using up all this energy to heal, and you just don't care as much as possible. Like, you don't have the energy to kind of get anxious or worry about, in my case anyway, I just found I didn't have the energy to worry about things that normally bothered me. So that kind of came up with the idea for this character. Like, what would you do if you didn't have that kind of inhibition?
It's really interesting, and she almost becomes a bit of a vigilante, and some of the women characters in this quartet of stories are dealing with bad behavior from men, and they push back in violent ways against it. How do you see those interactions?
I think what I was thinking about is, you know, the idea of getting revenge against one's abuser, which is something that, of course, you would fantasize about, but be very, very actually terrifying to undergo in real life. But for this particular character, because they feel that they're not expressing or experiencing fear the same way, they're kind of, why not? So they're kind of acting on that fantasy that, why don't we go out and try to scare this guy who has been torturing my friend? Why don't I confront this person who's yelling at his girlfriend? Why don't I confront someone who I think is doing something sketchy to someone at a bar? And it doesn't really work out in all, you know, the way that they want it to. You know, the stories are called gutless, but kind of acting on that actual gut feeling, like that real anger and that very deep frustration of wanting to, you know, give someone a taste of their own bad behavior.
There's a story called The Lobster, and you really capture that feeling of wanting to be anywhere else but here when you're stuck at someone else's house over the holidays, and and knowing you're overstaying your welcome because you can hear people talking about, you know, fish that like guests smell bad after 3 days. Ever happened to you?
I think this happened to pretty much everyone. I would think if you are in a situation where, you know, if you've ever had to leave home and, you know, you're working somewhere else and then you're coming home for a vacation or coming home for Christmas or the holidays, you know, you're sleeping on someone's couch or you're in someone's guest room, and that line of someone wanting to be a good host, but also being on your vacation. So I've been on it on both ends. I've been on it where I am the person coming home and, you know, feeling like a pest, feeling like, you know, kind of a presence ricocheting off against the walls. And I've also been the person who is host and is also on their, you know, their Christmas holidays and really just wants to sleep in and not cook somebody breakfast. Something like that. And I think it's something that we don't really see a lot because, you know, it's a little taboo. Like, you know, we're all supposed to be all just happy to be together and not, you know, feel exhausted and really just kind of maybe be feeling a little burnt out for Christmas. And so that's what I was playing with in that story, is that everyone's had kind of a hard year or a hard season and having kind of an exhausting holiday because they're all kind of being on their best behavior around each other.
Something helps to save Gabby, your character, your protagonist, from the whole thing, and it's a book, and it's Us Conductors by Shawn Michaels. You want to give Shawn a shout out right now?
Oh, I absolutely love that book. That was one of those books that, I mean, it just, you know, as a writer, you read it and you get mad because it's one of the things you want to write, you know, like, yeah, it's just such a beautiful book. Read Us Conductors, everyone.
Us Conductors by Shawn Michaels, which won the Giller Prize, by the way.
Yes.
The other thing that you do is a little shout out to Ganong Delecto chocolates. I love them.
Oh, me too.
It may be the first reference I've seen in a book, in fiction anyway. So thanks for doing that.
When I was a kid, the only channel we had growing up was CBC. We didn't have cable, and the Ganong Delecto chocolate ad would come on, and it was like the founder of the company, and he would talk about Ganong Delecto, and at the end he would take a chocolate out and he would bite into it, and they would go Ganong Delecto, and it was obvious. It was kind of he had false teeth, and like my father would laugh so hard every time that egg came on. He was like Dad, the Ganong Delecto egg. He would just roar. Like, anyway, he would we would all stop and watch wait for Buddy to bite into the chocolate. Anyway, yeah.
I've got to find out if that is on YouTube
yeah.
for sure. That's really amazing. After 2 novels now, Bridget, this is your first collection of short stories. How are you feeling about writing short stories?
I love writing short stories, but this was a collection that kind of took place over several years. So I think they're harder than novels, honestly. I've written a few things now, like the way you kind of have to switch your mind around when you're writing. So I find, like, right now I'm trying to write a first draft of a novel. I compare it to building a house. Like, I'm still just digging the hole to put the foundation in when you're writing a first draft. You're just kind of putting all your ideas together and you'll sort it afterwards. I've written a couple of scripts. Nothing's happened with them yet, fingers crossed. But in that way, suddenly you have to kind of turn your mind around. It's like everything has to be something that people can see and hear, and it's got to be engaging right away. So there's, that kind of use of brevity. So with a short story, and I've read a lot of short stories. I love reading short stories. I love Alice Munro. I love Lisa Moore. You have to be able to engross the reader immediately. So I think when you're writing a short story, you're often thinking about the constraints of it. So, like, this is a moment in time. This is something that happens over a day or a weekend. This is something that is just dealing with one aspect or one relationship, and getting all the nuances of that and getting it engaging. It can be quite a task, and you're thinking about the way people read short stories. I mean, this is something that someone might read on the bus on their way to school. Sometimes this might be something that someone reads because they're in the waiting room for 20 minutes. So to kind of catch someone's attention and bring them along on a very small but intense journey is quite hard. So yeah, I think short stories are one of the hardest things to write.
I hope that you'll continue to write them, as challenging as the form is. This is a wonderful collection. And thank you so much for speaking with me about it.
Oh, thank you so much, Sheila. It was great to talk to you.
Thanks, Bridget. Bridget Canning is the author of No One Knows About Us, and she spoke with me from St. John's. Antana Shaleka and I go way back. I first met him when I hosted the Arts Tonight in the late 1980s, and I'd introduce him as the world's tallest small press reviewer. He does have height on his side. Since then, I've never failed to be enlightened by his book reviews, and the same goes for his own writing. We've talked about his fiction, like Provisionally Yours, a thriller set in post-World War I Lithuania, and his nonfiction, including The Barefoot Bingo Collar, his memoir about growing up Lithuanian Canadian. Antanas has a new novel, just published. It's a spy story set in Lithuania during the Soviet occupation. It's called Some Unfinished Business. Here is Antanas Shaleka answering our version of the Proust questionnaire.
Name your favorite writers. My favorite writers include, above all, Czeslaw Milosz, who won the Nobel Prize in 1980 because he opened up Eastern Europe in a way that it hadn't been opened up before. No one thought about that place. I'm talking about his memoir and his novel. And then he also wrote Captive Mind, about writers who sell themselves out. They'll do anything to get published because they're just hungry for the attention. So I love him. And then also local writers in Belarus next door, Svetlana Alexievich, for writing about the Chernobyl disaster. Who are your favorite heroes in real life? Oh, in real life, because of my East European background, I've got to admire all the people who are dissidents, absolutely. There's Vytautas Bogušis, a man I interviewed way back in the Soviet period, who was willing to let, it's frightening really, to let his children suffer in school. They're being berated by the teachers and fired all the time, too. Of course, over here, most of us don't know Vytautas Bogušis, that was in Lithuania. But think of someone like Nelson Mandela, who we all do know about. These incredible dissidents who managed to, for years and years and years, maintain their opposition. And if they're lucky, as Mandela and some others are, they eventually achieve victory.
If you could change something about yourself, what would it be?
I would try not to be such an apologist. I'm deeply Canadian, so I step on somebody's foot and then I say I'm sorry. And in effect, I hate myself for being that kind of person. So I wish I was just a little more forward, a little more aggressive, but not too much.
On what occasions do you lie?
I lie almost every time I open my mouth or I set my pen to paper or, in contemporary times, work at the keyboard. And the reason is I can't resist to tell a story, whether it's true or it's fiction. In any case, it has to be enhanced. It has to be useful. It has to be capture the listener or the reader. In effect, think of me as a seductor. Trying to seduct the person I'm speaking to.
What is your favorite occupation?
That was a pain in the ass.
In the word business, I would be in the food business. So what I like to do is I like to cook for my friends. At my birthdays, typically, my wife offered to take me out to places. No, I say invite a dozen of my friends and let me cook something fine, some kind of French cuisine.
It was just the end. He was all ice. Alright, well that's it. What did you guys think of that? That sucked. Uh-oh. Stuck. We're out. Never stuck for long. Okay, that one's done. That, debatable whether it was worth the money for that one, but I mean that's the way she goes. Sometimes it's like practically 5 minutes in and out, right? So it is what it is, and well, there's enough snow, Aaron, that even at 5 degrees, they wouldn't melt all of what we just had. It's just gonna make it messy, wet and messy. Yeah, I just have one more to do, but it's the place where I leave the trailer. So I'm going to pretty much end it there. So, I mean, it was quite a bit of work for $90 cash today for those 3. Plus the contracts. The cash in hand today is $90 off those 3. Yeah. Quite wet and messy out now. But yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it's like 5.5 hours in total. But I mean, I made that $90 in 2 hours, let's say. So, I mean, that's good. That's fucking good. Okay. I love you. I will catch you all later. I'm gonna go drop the trailer off.